Morning, Iris.
Greg.
Vivian tells me that you went out early this morning.
Yes, I went to the hospital.
Oh, what for?
To see Evan Douglas. I wanted to talk to him about the night Alex died, and early this morning was the only time he had free.
Was there any help?
Not much. He told me the same things you did. He remembers being puzzled when I told him a nurse had given me a message to go to his office.
But you still can't remember which nurse?
I wish I could. I have tried so hard to remember, to conjure up her face, but it just won't come. So many nurses went in and out of Alex's room.
Well, there are an awful lot of staff nurses at that hospital.
I know, and the only ones I paid any attention to were the private duty nurses. We used to sit and chat together.
Well, that means that the nurse that gave you the message was not a private duty nurse.
No. I'm sure she wasn't. I just have no idea what she looked like. I was so excited, you know, about Alex's regaining his speech and his meeting with Dennis.
Iris, do you still regard Alex's death as suspicious?
Yes. It's a feeling I have.
Can you explain it?
Of course. Ryan Connor.
Well, I guess this is the first chance you've had to see my new office.
Yes, it is.
Oh, thank you. Well, what do you think?
Well, it's great, what there is.
I guess it is a bit bare, but new offices rarely win any decorating awards.
Dad, would you have lunch with me?
Today, yes, I'd like that very much.
Hello, Elliot.
Oh.
Dennis, I heard you were here this morning, and I wanted to say hello.
I was going to drop by your office in a few minutes.
Dennis and I are having lunch later. Would you like to join us?
Well, yes, thank you, Elliot. That sounds very nice. Dennis, I want you to know that all the reporters you used to work with ask for you all the time.
Well, I'm not surprised. After all, I've become something of a celebrity, haven't I? In fact, I think I'll drop down to the file room and take one last look at everybody before they lock me away.
Coffee?
No, thanks.
Where are you off to?
I thought I'd go over to KDIK and talk to Elliot.
Oh, I still don't mention in the paper this morning of that Foster's confession.
That's what I thought I'd talk to him about.
You're looking very nice this morning.
Thank you.
Dressing a little more sedately these days.
I guess I am.
You know, you must think you have a real good thing going here. Sleeping there in the bedroom every night while I'm sleeping out here, going just so far and then
Peter.
stopping. Just how much longer do you think I'm going to put up with that?
Not much longer.
You know, you didn't get to sleep till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
I know. Just kept going over things in my mind.
You know, if you don't get any rest, you're not going to be any good at the diner this afternoon.
I know. What's that?
I don't know. Who is it?
It's me, Elena. Ruby Wright.
It's Billy Joe's sister.
What's she doing here?
I don't know.
What are we gonna do?
You go into the bathroom and I'll try and find out what she wants. Jump, leave the sheet.
Iris, Ryan is not responsible for Alex's death.
I disagree. I believe Alex told him of his plans to change his will and leave World Oil to Dennis.
But even if he did...
And I believe Ryan argued about it and caused Alex to have another stroke.
But Ryan insists that when he went into that hospital room, Alex was already dead.
I don't believe that.
Ryan says he never even spoke to Alex.
No, that's not true.
Iris, Dr. Douglas and I tried to determine exactly how much time Ryan was in that room. Now, it couldn't have been more than a minute or two. It's not time enough to argue.
Yes, it's time enough.
No, it isn't. Iris, Alex spoke slowly, haltingly. He barely had enough time to tell him about his change of mind. Ryan would have had to have a couple of minutes at least to get Alex so exercised that he'd suffer a stroke.
We're assuming that Ryan bothered to argue with Alex.
What do you say? Ryan is Alex's nephew. He's family.
He was on the verge of losing his job. His shares in World Oil, all of which amounted to a considerable amount of money.
You're wrong, Iris.
How is it that you know Ryan so well? I mean, you've seen him perhaps, 4 times in the past 8 years? And you've spent very little time with him since you arrived in Houston.
Well, I know him well enough to know he's an excellent lawyer. And would just as soon be practicing law as running World Oil. He has money of his own. That's no factor.
Money and power. Those are the factors. That's what Ryan stood to lose if Alex changed his will.
You're wrong, Iris.
I am not wrong. And I intend to prove it.
I'll be right back. All right, son.
You haven't told him about the confession yet.
No, Stryker asked me not to, but it is getting increasingly difficult to keep it from him.
I know. But I think Stryker's right, Elliot. If Dennis were to be given new hope now and then have that hope dashed, well, it would just upset him more.
I suppose you're right, but I do not understand what has taken them so long. They've had the confession for a day now.
Well, from what Stryker tells me, the DA is ready to accept that confession as valid. But there's so much red tape involved. You know how things are.
Oh, this whole experience has changed Dennis so much.
Oh, I think he'll be fine once he realizes he doesn't have a prison sentence hanging over him.
I don't know. You saw the scene he caused in the Top of the World Club the other night.
Yes.
Well, before this happened, Dennis would never have behaved that way. He would never have embarrassed Paige like that.
No, he wouldn't.
Dennis is a gentle man.
Well, perhaps his attitude toward Paige will change when he knows that she's the one that brought Joe Foster's confession to the authorities.
Well, I hope you're right. But for the moment, my only hope is that it won't cause the opposite effect.
I'm thinking about moving out, Peter.
When?
As soon as I can find a place to go. Sooner, if you'd rather.
You're welcome to stay here as long as you want. You know that.
You've already done too much for me. I appreciate it, but it's really time for me to go.
What brought all of this on?
Oh, lots of things.
Are you planning on moving back in with your husband now that he's been cleared of murder?
I won't be moving back in with Dennis, Peter. In 60 days, he won't even be my husband.
You were always a woman to go after what she wanted. Got it most of the time.
There's no use going after Dennis. He doesn't want me.
You still care for him, don't you, Paige?
Don't we always care about the people we love?
We used to have a pretty good thing going back in Hollywood.
That was different.
Was it?
Yes, it was, Peter. Because I never really loved you.